Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing an oil change on the F10 M5. This is a 2013 model and it's her first oil change since I picked her up and drove her back from Texas, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys will find this helpful as well. So first you're going to want to jack up the car, and if you don't know how to do it, here's a link to another video that I made on how to safely raise a BMW. Looking underneath the car, it's pretty easy to locate the drain plug. It's right in the middle front of the car. You're going to need a 17mm wrench. And before draining the oil, you should make sure that the oil is up to temp, nice and warm, so that when you do drain it, all the contaminants and everything flows out smoothly. And be careful not to burn yourself. For the oil filter, I picked up an oil filter wrench made by CTA. I don't remember how much it is exactly, but it was pretty inexpensive, and I recommend this to avoid any headaches with the removal of the oil filter. So while the oil's draining, you can go ahead and remove the oil filter. All you got to do is attach it to a 3/8 wrench with an extension and turn it counterclockwise. And I don't know why BMW decided to put the oil filter in the bottom instead of on the top like they do in the other cars, but it just makes it a pain in the butt to remove from underneath the car. And before you release the oil filter, make sure you got the pan underneath it to catch the oil, because it comes out in a rush. Once you get the filter out, pop it out of its housing and let the oil drain out. So now it's time to get the fresh new filter out of its box, and you'll see that in the box it also comes with new O-rings as well as a copper washer for the drain plug. But the weird thing is the copper washer is not the right size. As you can see, the old copper washer is much smaller than the one that comes in the package. So you're gonna either have to order separate copper washers, or in my case I just bought a new copper washer and bolt kit. On the oil filter housing, there's a large O-ring that you'll need to remove and replace with a new one. You can use a flathead screwdriver to pry it out and go around until it comes loose and pop it off. Grab your new O-ring and remove it from the package. And make sure to oil your new O-ring with fresh new oil. So that way you'll ensure that there's a good seal. Once you're done, go ahead and install it on your oil filter housing. And make sure it sits completely flush. Now when installing the oil filter into the housing, there's only one way to do it, so you can't screw it up. In my case, the side of the oil filter that has writing on it is the side that goes into the housing. Give it a nice squeeze and it'll pop right in. Before installing the filter back into the car, it's a good idea to prime it with some oil, just to make sure when you start it up that there's oil going into the engine immediately. Don't forget to put on your new copper washer for your drain plug. When reinstalling the drain plug, always remember to do it by hand first to avoid any cross threading. Be careful not to over tighten the plug. From the moment it touches the pan, it only needs a slight crank with a wrench. And the same follows for the oil filter. you want to tighten in by hand first just to make sure it doesn't cross thread, especially because the threads on the cap is made out of plastic. Similar to the oil drain plug, the oil filter only needs a slight crank with a wrench from the moment you feel resistance. And now it's time to add new engine oil. The M5 holds approximately 8.9 quarts, but since there's probably still some old oil remaining in the engine, I'm only going to add 8.5 and measure it out just to make sure that I don't overfill. Alright, so now we're going to reset the oil light. So in order to do that, you're going to hit the start stop button once. And then, I'm turn off the fan here. There's a cluster button right here you want to hold. And then the service indicator is going to come up. You're going to want to keep on pushing the cluster button to cycle through. Oh, I just missed engine oil. We're going to cycle to engine oil here, and I'm going to hold the button again on engine oil, and then it says reset with a question mark. So I'm going to let go of the cluster button and push down and hold on it again. Keep on holding it. It says reset in progress. And then reset successful. That's it. And as you can see, when I first cycled through it, it said I got 10,000 miles left. You know, I don't really trust these things. Generally, I like to change my oil every 5,000 miles just to make sure all the gunk is flushed out. But anyway, it's time to measure the oil level, and you can do it through the iDrive system. And as you can see, I put in 8.5 quarts and it's almost at the max. So just gotta top it off now. That's it for the oil change, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe.